Hello, welcome back. I'm Stephen, and in a few moments I'm going to be talking about the fourth Doctor adventure, Full Circle. But before I get onto that, I just need to give a quick mental health update because you may or may not have noticed there wasn't a Sunday chat video again this week. So this video is going to be a little bit old style in that I'm going to combine the mental health stuff with the Doctor Who. And the reason there wasn't a video, and the reason also why this one is also a bit late coming out, is that lately I have had a pretty bad run of mental health days. Over the last week or so, a bit more than that, each day has been sort of progressively worse than the one before. I didn't think that much of it at first because these things come and go. You have good days and you have bad days, but when it got to Friday I didn't feel very good at all most of the day. But then I had an event to go to in the evening, which I went to and I enjoyed, and I rallied a bit. That was fun. But then on Saturday I didn't get out of bed until early afternoon because I just couldn't bring myself to do so. And then Sunday, even worse. Sunday, I only managed barely an hour and a half out of bed the whole day, and that was just enough to keep to my two strict rules of having a bath, getting washed, and having something to eat. They're the absolute two minimal things I will do on my worst day. So I did those, and then on Monday, I just had to face up to the fact that I needed to phone the doctor and have a phone consultation, because that's, of course, with COVID, that's what they're doing primarily at the moment. You have a phone consultation first, and then if they need to see you, only then will they call you in for the face-to-face appointment. So I had a phone consultation with the doctor, and we talked about how I've been feeling and how it had changed lately, and with reference to my past records and such like, and she prescribed me to go back onto the citalopram. That's a 20mg dose, one per day, and I'm going to be on that again. This is what I was on before for 2 years. I'm going to be on it again for at least 4 months before they try to take me off it again. So it's a bit of a setback, but I'm trying not to be too downhearted about it, because the main thing is I recognised I needed the help again, and I went to get that help. And to any of you who have depression, as I always say, please get help. Don't just let it fester and take you over, because there is help out there. Now, the downside of this is that she told me that going back onto it, for the first couple of days I might experience anxiety or anxiety attacks to some level. I've had, I'll admit I've been feeling a little bit more anxious, but I've not had I've not had a full-scale panic attack or anything like that. But nevertheless, I've delayed my return to work until this coming Friday. I mean, today and tomorrow are my natural days off anyway, but I should have been back to work tomorrow, or yesterday. I mean, I should have been in on Monday as well, but that's the day I phoned the doctor. So work have been very understanding. I've spoken with the people in human resources, and they've been very understanding. Asked me if there's any special help I need when I get back. Well, not as such. I mean, the thing about my depression is it's not impacted so much by external factors. It's all in here. So all I need really when I go back is just a bit of patience and understanding, and that's all. Anyway, so with that being said, let's get on to the more cheery topic of Full Circle, shall we? And you know what that means. I've got the fourth Doctor here. Not exactly in his Full Circle costume, but this is the fourth Doctor nonetheless. Now, you may remember from my Feature from the Pit, which is review, which is the only other fourth Doctor one I've done so far, that the Fourth Doctor is actually, by quite a margin, the heaviest of my Doctor action figures, and he doesn't really sit too well in the hat, but let's see what we're going to do. Oh, it's time to talk about Doctor Who. I've got the Doctor in my hat. I'll have to stay very, very, very still, or he'll fall out and go splat. See, I knew that was going to happen. I just have to move back just a little bit so I can get him full in shot. Okay, now full circle. Full circle's an interesting one. For me, I think this is the story where the John Nathan Turner era really starts to kick in. I mean, previous to that, we had the Leisure Hive, which is a bit of an oddity. I love the Leisure Hive, but it's not really typical season 18 fare. And then there's Meglos, which, well, Meglos is just like a throwback to the previous season, really. So from Full Circle onwards, that's where I feel that JNT is really making his mark, and it's written by, at the time, I think he still holds his record. Oh, there goes Tom Baker. It's written by Andrew Smith, who was only a teenager at the time he wrote this, and it's really an impressive piece of work considering that. And is gone on since. I mean, he had a sort of stellar career in the police force after that, but since he's retired from the police force, he has written some Doctor Who stories for Big Finish, and some of which I've listened to, and they are really, really, they're good. I mean, if he ever got invited back, it's unlikely, but if he ever got invited back to write on the show proper again, no, I'd be absolutely delighted with that. It's a fascinating story, really. I mean, we've got these people living on this planet, and every 50 years or so there's mistfall, and these creatures emerge from the swamp and run rampage and try to get into the Starliner where the people live and have to retreat into. And of course, the Doctor realises that the original crew who crashed on the planet Alzarius were killed by the Marshmen about 40,000 generations ago, which, if you do the maths, is about 1 million years. And these original Marshmen evolved into because they're very adaptable, they sort of evolved and became the new residents of the Starliner, but other Marshmen still keep emerging every 50 years at Mistfall, and they resent these evolved people, and you know, so it goes. This story is, of course, notable for the introduction of a new companion, Advic. Now, Advic does divide fan opinion, but he also divides my own personal fan opinion right down the middle. I can't remember if I said this before on my Visitation review or not, but if so, I'll repeat myself, never mind. But I think Advic works really, really well with the Fourth Doctor. You know, where this sort of artful dodger type character that he was envisaged as works well with an older Doctor, but once Peter Davison comes in, Advic just comes across as a sort of petulant, spoiled brat, and I don't like Advic so much in the Peter Davison era, but in the Fourth Doctor era, I think he's quite good, and actually, Matthew Waterhouse's performances as Advic are actually better with Tom Baker, even though in real life they just didn't hit it off at all. Now, one of the guest stars of this story is George Baker, who, for those of you of my age, a familiar face on TV when I was younger. I mean, he's not with us anymore, but it was what's he best known for? He played in Inspector Wexford in whatever that TV detective show was. And anyway, but the reason I mention him is because whenever I see George Baker on TV, and in this story he's playing Decider Logan, but whenever I see him, he always reminds me of when I used to live in a village about 20 or so years ago. A village in Lincolnshire, and the man who ran the fish and chip shop there was the absolute spitting image of George Baker. He even sounded like him a bit. And I used to go there, I don't know, maybe once every couple of weeks and get plaice, chips and mushy peas. When he saw me come through the door, this guy, he always knew I was going to ask for plaice, because that's my favourite fish. And a lot of fish and chip shops don't offer plaice, it's usually just haddock or cod. So I used to get my plaice and chips and mushy peas and take them away and home and enjoy them. But anyway, that's beside the point. It's just one of those memories that gets figured by this story when I see George Baker, and that's what this vlog is really all about. You know, what the sort of memories and feelings that some of these stories evoke in me. Now, Full Circle, of course, it's the first part of its trilogy, known as the E-Space trilogy, followed by State of Decay, which is probably my favourite of the three. More about that, obviously, when we get onto it, and Warrior's Gate, which is also rather good. It's a good, solid trilogy. I mean, it's nice when you get a trilogy where all three component parts are really, really strong. I think that's about all I've got to say about Full Circle, to be honest. I'm sorry the video's a bit shorter than usual today. Luckily it's fallen on a relatively low-key story, but I'm not quite myself yet. It's important to me that I don't push myself too hard when I'm in a depressed or semi-depressed state. I don't set too many unrealistic goals, so I just wanted to put out some kind of video for you, let you know I'm still here apart from anything else. And so let's go ahead and see what we'll be talking about next, shall we? So here we are again, back with the random number generator. Now, the more perceptive of you may notice that the total number of stories has actually increased since the last time I used the wheel. That's because previously I had Trial of a Time Lord down as just one story on the wheel. Now I've split it into its 4 component parts, so the numbers ticked up a few notches. Reason for that is because I had to think about what I'm going to do about Flux, and I've decided I'm going to treat Flux isn't on the wheel yet, but when it does go on the wheel, it will be going on in its 6 component parts. So I decided I want to treat Trial of a Time Lord in exactly the same way. So, what's that irritating pop-up there? Do we need that? No, we don't. So, if Trial of a Time Lord comes up, whichever of the 4 trial stories I land on, I will do all 4 there and then, over the course of 4 weeks. And likewise, when Flux gets added in the spring, if I land on one of the 6 Flux components, any one of the 6, I will do all 6 of those in 6 consecutive weeks. So that's what we're going to do when Trial of a Time Lord or Flux turn up. Aside from that, everything's as it was before. We're still yet to see David Tennant's story, or anything from the Patrick Troughton era, or Paul McGann's brief stint. Before I vote, I will just say that the story I'm about to draw next will be the 20th review I'm doing, but it will also be the last one of this year, because I'm going to take Christmas week off. I'm not going to put pressure on myself to get a story done over Christmas. So the one that video comes out next week will be the last review of the year, and then we'll pick up again in January. Okay, so let's spin the wheel and see where we're going. 264. That is fairly recent, I know that much. So let's roll 264. Okay, we are going to Jodie Whittaker, and it will be The Ghost Monument. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.